Hey guys, this is Downphoenix, and if you were like me, when you hear the sound of, hey, you should buy this game that came out from Japan or Europe or something like that, maybe you were the type of person that, like me, was like, well, I don't know, that sounds like it's a major risk. Will my system even play the game? Will I even be able to read what the game says? And all kinds of other concerns that we have. And when it comes to older game systems, that often is a concern when it comes to playing these games. Now, some games, obviously, you don't need to worry about reading too much. Sometimes the consoles can play those foreign games, but for the most part, it is an issue. However, with the way games are nowadays, and with the way systems are nowadays, it's not really a huge concern like it was back in the day. Namely, the PlayStation 4 is a system that I have started to enjoy collecting import games for. And I want to show you guys 3 different import games that I'm able to enjoy on my American PlayStation 4 with no problems at all. And for very affordable prices too, I might add. Because, you know, importing things can be very expensive, but these games were dirt cheap compared to buying a brand new AAA game here in the US. So let's get into it. So a great way to get into import games is to visit websites like PlayAsia. PlayAsia is a fantastic site to start with if you want to get into import gaming. They offer games from all over the world, and oftentimes most of the releases are going to be available in English or in various languages, you know, depending on your country and whatnot. Here's an example of a game that I picked up from PlayAsia. River City Melee Battle Royale SP. Now, if you are someone that keeps up with limited run games, you might recognize this game. That's because this is a game that they recently released. However, I had this game months before Limited Run even thought about releasing. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe they thought about it for a long time. But you know what I mean. Like, I had this long before they did their release. And I was able to get this from PlayAsia. Now, as you see, this says it's the English/Chinese version. Which means that you can play this game in English. And you can play it in Chinese too if you wish. But the point is, even though this is a game that came from Asia, I can enjoy it without having to worry about the language, you know, having to worry about any kind of barriers revolving around that. Now, if you're a fan of games like River City Ransom, this might be a game you're interested in. This is pretty much River City Ransom meets Super Smash Bros. That's kind of the best way to look at it. I actually did a video, which if you want to check it out, go for it, guys. But anyways, that's just one small example. I mean, there are sites like PlayAsia, of course, which is a great way to do it. But Amazon is another excellent site for good import games. And this was one of my favorite games of all time. It's actually my favorite indie game ever made. So, even though I already had it on PC on Steam, just because I'm a fan of the series, I just had to have it on PS4 and in physical form. So that's going to be Mount & Blade Warband. This was a game I got very affordably on Amazon. I think I paid like maybe $23 or something like that. And it was totally worth it because, I mean, the digital copy is only like a couple bucks cheaper. And I have a physical copy that came with a map and everything like that, or like a poster, I guess. But anyways, Mount & Blade Warband is an excellent game if you're into medieval games. It's basically a medieval sandbox game with a lot of RPG elements and things like that. In combat, that I guess you could say is like Dynasty Warriors if it was grounded in reality. So you have huge battles, but you're not going around like hacking up 50 dudes and flying them up in the air or something like that. No, it's actually a real combat, and you can get your butt kicked really easily if you act stupid. Unless you turn down the difficulty all the way, of course. But that's another thing entirely. But Mount & Blade Warband is an excellent game, and I picked it up on Amazon for a very fair price. And one more place that you can check, of course, is good old eBay. eBay, you can find just about anything that you can think of. Obviously, one of the greatest places to look for import games for retro systems, of course. But it's also a great place to find import games for new systems. Games like Heart and Slash. This was a game that I just played today. This was actually a lot of fun. I picked this up on eBay for about $17. I literally paid $1 more to pay for it from a US seller, I guess, selling a gently used copy of the game as opposed to paying $16 to get it shipped from the UK, which, yeah, of course, it would have been a brand new copy, but I would have also had to wait 3 weeks. Screw that nonsense. But anyways, I am really glad that I picked this game up. It's basically a roguelike Devil May Cry or Bayonetta is the best way I can describe it. I figured this game was more like a Zelda-type game just because of the way the gameplay looked, but it's actually a lot more fast-paced, crazy off-the-wall action. I did a live stream if you guys want to check out that, of course. I'm just going to post a link there, even though the video at this time is going to be unlisted. You can check it out if you want. You can see my initial impressions and, you know, just see how it goes. But anyways, let me know if you guys have really explored into import games at all. Is that something you've really done? Have you done it for just modern consoles, just retro consoles? Have you done it for both? I haven't really bothered with it with retro consoles too much, just because there often is a lot of barriers to entry, like having to mod consoles and various things like that, whereas with a system like the PS4, it's just as simple as getting a game that you want to play. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and until then, Downphoenix out.